Hello and welcome to Sit Back with Saheli, my new talk show all about going behind the scenes with the Asian wedding industry and getting to know our suppliers better. Your wedding's obviously a really important day, but the suppliers are the ones that really make it. So we thought we'd bring them to you on screen so we can dig a little deeper and find out more about them and their companies. So for our first episode, I'm so excited to introduce you to Ik from the VIP studio and Moss from Mobile Moments London. Thank you guys for being here today. I hope you guys are excited to be on the show. How are you both feeling?
Super excited, a little bit nervous.
Okay, I won't be too mean. I mean, like I said, I just really want to understand more about the businesses, how you guys got into the industry, what made you want to be here, and also we want to get to know both of you a little bit better because, you know, personality really does win the heart. So Ik, let's start with you. You're obviously in photography and videography.
Yes.
You know, what made you want to go into that?
Wow, what we started back in 2003, 2004, and it kind of just happened really. A friend of ours was getting married, wanting us to shoot his wedding. We had no idea about anything apart from having a little design graphic background. Picked up a camera, he was on a budget, so we thought, yeah, we'll help him out. We spoke to a friend of ours who was in the industry. We said, yeah, why don't you come with us, do a few of the traditional photos, and we'll just do, you know, whatever we can to help a friend out. Done the wedding, we danced, partied, and took some photos. And when it came to the album, he actually chose about 90% of our photos.
Oh wow.
So as it happened, he didn't really want all the traditional, the boring photos.
He wanted those like candid.
Yeah, he wanted the candid, he wanted the fun, and the couple shots, which we were able to do. So after that, we kind of realized that we could go into it. So we slowly started. The first year we done about 6 weddings, and the second year went to 30. Third year went to 60, and then it's not gone down.
Amazing.
So yeah, so it was quite a quick start.
And you obviously since then now have branches abroad as well now, right?
Yes, we do. So we've got 1 in Bombay and we've got 2 in Surat at the moment.
Okay.
So they're going well. It's their 3rd year. So they're finally kind of getting to grips with the Indian market. So different to the UK. But yes, no, we're enjoying the development of the company. And the collaboration between the UK and India is becoming more and more important with a lot of destination weddings taking place.
100%.
So Asia, Europe, it's kind of every couple of weeks you get inquiry. So if we can mix the teams, it's working out great.
Amazing. And obviously since you started, the photography industry has really grown. There's lots of photographers around now. What kind of sets you apart?
It's a tough one actually, because the industry is actually full of so many good photography companies and video companies. Our approach tends to be a little bit different from others in the sense that we do try to make it a bit more fun, a bit more relaxed. We do prefer the kind of colourful, the bright, happy brides, as opposed to the kind of the dark photos. So that element is different because the new age photographers are doing a lot of the dark, moody photos. So I guess that element is different from us. The other thing that's different is, I guess, the fact that we've been around for so long. We know what to do, we know what not to do. Be it Sikh weddings, Hindu weddings, Christian weddings, we know them inside out. Yeah. And there's not anything that we'll basically miss. We can advise our couples accordingly. The new guys, they're great, but how much experience they have, that's up to the couple to decide. But for us, it's, you know, it's, for us it's very important that we make it easy for the couple on the day.
Of course, and I mean, I think something that we've always told our clients when we're recommending you guys or working with you is your turnaround time actually for albums and getting your photos and getting your videos is probably much quicker than a lot of the other photographers out there, I suppose, because you have quite a large team.
Yeah, 100%, and I think that was something that we wanted to introduce into the industry and have it proper, like a proper business, as opposed to a part-time business where, you know, people go to work, come home, do the editing. So from day one, really, we've had a separate set of editors and separate set of shooters. Okay. So you're not kind of editing your own stuff because you don't really have the time. You're in meetings, you're being interviewed by Saheli, so you really don't have the time. So you kind of go, so you tend to go on a shoot, you know, you get all your stock, you pass it to the admin passes it to the editors, and so on and so forth. Everything should be done within about 4 months. But the whole point is just to make sure that the client can have as much feedback in the edit as much as possible, and you can only do that with having full-time editors.
Of course.
Because that way you haven't got any restrictions on time. Yeah. If it takes a month to edit, let it be. If it takes 2 months to edit, let it be. As long as the client is happy, That's the most important thing to us.
Amazing. And Moss, you obviously own the photo booth world. So although we were looking at photography in different angles,
Yes.
you introduced the rickshaws to us.
We did.
So I believe you were one of the first to bring it
Yeah.
to the industry,
Yeah,
right?
we were the first.
And how did that whole idea even come to you?
So for me, I used to work for a caterer called Chuck 89
Okay.
in South London, and I'd only been with the company for about 2 months. I was kind of walking around once, I saw this old, beaten up, dusty rickshaw in their car park. And I looked at it and thought, do you know what, Moss? You can turn that into a photo booth. That was on a Thursday,
Yeah.
and on a Saturday evening I was at work, essentially should have been on the floor, but I was in the office on eBay bidding on this rickshaw. So yeah, that was the day we bought our first rickshaw.
Amazing.
Took it back, redesigned it, and she became Rita.
Oh, wow.
Shortly after we launched that particular one at the National Asian Wedding Show at the XL, and that was a turning point for us. So
Yeah.
when we sat in that exhibition hall and the flocks of crowds were coming in, it was like really surreal. You're thinking, whoa, people actually like this,
Yeah.
and this is potentially going to be something that I started to do full time.
I mean, I suppose because it was so different, there was nothing out there at all at the time.
Exactly.
I can imagine with photo booths really growing within that whole industry, people wanted that entertainment
Yeah.
part in their events. You were able to bring a whole different dynamics
Yeah.
to it. But I mean, I think we've obviously all seen lots of different companies now bring out these rickshaws. So how do you still manage to stay on top of things and keep your brand relevant?
So for us, a lot of it is about innovation and keeping up to date with current trends, you could call them.
Yeah.
All of our rickshaws are individually designed to either match the theme of the client's event
Okay.
or particular wedding decoration trends that clients are going for. So we recently launched Rose at the time where it was all about creams and whites, and that came in and it was
Yeah.
a big hit. And more recently Lola, the pastel colour tuk-tuk that we
Okay.
launched. In terms of keeping in front of our competitors, I think it's heavily down to the design of our rickshaws, both from the interior and the exterior. They look amazing. The picture quality is outstanding. I think a lot of it is the fact that we do this full time. It is our
Yeah.
bread and butter. We put all of our time into it, our heart and soul, and we feel really passionate about what we do, as opposed to it being a small thing on the side, like Ik mentioned.
Yeah.
It's not our part-time.
It's your absolute passion.
Yeah, it's our absolute passion, and it keeps us busy.
Amazing. And the rickshaw isn't just used for the photo booth, is
It's
it?
not correct.
So you've driven it and
Yeah.
brought bride and grooms in. How do you go from driving it to then turning it into a photo booth at the same event?
So I'd be on hand, dressed
Okay.
very differently, of course, from head to toe. So typically we'll arrive on site earlier. We'll spend a few hours with the bride and groom, driving them in, having a separate photo shoot. And the beauty about our vehicles is that our equipment all fits inside. So it's a case of finishing their
Fine.
arrival, taking a few shots with the photographers, and then finding a nice cozy corner in the corner of their venue, or maybe outside a marquee, and turning that same vehicle
Amazing.
into a photo booth for the other guests to enjoy.
Amazing. So you must have to have your own little hair and makeup done too if you're in every
I
single
guess so,
shot, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so we're now going to go to the second part of the show, which is the games round. On the show, we're going to have different games for every single guest that we have here. So your game is sort of related to, I suppose you guys all have a good eye for detail when you're in photography. So using the sketch pads, you can choose a colour or
Okay.
colours. You're going to draw me
Oh
in 2
God,
minutes.
Saheli.
You have 2 minutes, and the most complimentary
No way.
drawing of me is going to
We've
win
done that for like 20 years.
the Saheli Events hat there.
Okay, I got this.
So I'm going to keep it here as an incentive for you. I'm going to get into a comfortable pose. I might
Oh, we're going to
talk
draw you as you are,
Yeah,
not our
no, not like
imagination.
just-
Okay.
Right.
I'm like sitting right above me.
Right, yeah, right, yeah.
It's easier.
Okay, okay.
You
Okay,
can use the
so-
imagination if you want.
he's not going to win.
I've got this, I've got this.
Okay, so we're going to get the timer on the clock for 2 minutes, and you're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, right.
I'm going to just sit
I
here.
was made for this.
You don't have to do my lips in
Do you have
case
to
I
include the
talk.
chair?
He
Okay.
said he was made for it.
He's made for it.
He was made for it.
Whoa, this has already started off horribly wrong.
Oh my god, I thought he was going to say it's amazing. Maybe you'll get a point for using pink. Oh, it is scary.
Oh, this is
He's not
embarrassing.
that, you know, that art person pose with his like,
Yeah.
he's like, Saheli, I'm
This
not
is-
the
this is
live
so not the right
painter.
pen for this.
Well, we
It's
have
not-
to make it
yeah,
a
it's
little
not.
bit difficult.
She's kind of stitched us right up.
Yeah, I know.
Wait and see, Stevie.
Episode 1 has to be interesting for them.
Can we use different colours?
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm
you can
telling
use whatever colours you
You
want.
can't fool with these pens. I don't know where she looked at this one.
Oh, that's not
I
right.
don't
Your
know.
eyebrows are not a lot nicer than that.
Oh my god, I'm so scared. I will keep these and maybe frame it
You
in my
are
office
asking for
one
trouble
day.
though, right? You know that, right? This
But
is...
then you're not going to win, Ick.
Oh my god, it's sketching a masterpiece.
Can you make sure I have a nice
You wait until you see this.
One
my
more
word.
minute.
Oh my
That's
word.
not
Right.
going to happen in 1
Let's
minute.
get edgy, let's get edgy.
I started late.
Oh my
Here's the
god.
dress.
Abstract rivals.
Here's
It's
the
just
Oh,
like,
nice.
it's fine. As long as I look skinny. I'm happy.
Oh my word, you're gonna hate me.
I'm actually so excited to see these. I
No,
think
no,
No,
they're-
don't me,
so-
don't me.
I think 2 minutes just not enough for that masterpiece of it putting together, is
Then
it?
it's too easy.
I can't do this. This is
Oh, Saheli, what is this?
And on top of everything, she wants thick slim.
What is this?
Oh my god.
No,
I'm
I
gonna cry.
don't
Okay.
even know what I'm doing. How's yours going?
God, I'm sorry, Saheli.
It's okay.
This is not a real reflection of you.
I hope not.
One bit.
I think this is like a photograph.
Oh my word. I'm sorry.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh god.
Put the pens
God,
down.
what is
slash
that?
crayons or whatever.
You don't want to see
You want
that.
to call it.
You
I
don't
hope
want
this
to see
person
that.
looks
I just drew your top
Good.
because
Camera
it looks.
doesn't want to see that.
I just
Okay,
finished
so-
off the top because it looks a bit naughty.
Pens down. Pens down.
Wait, let me just draw
Okay.
the top.
So you didn't put, I'm
No,
wearing
so-
a dress.
No, you're wearing a dress, but I just was trying
Okay,
to figure it out.
so show me and the cameras what it looks like.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. Master reveal.
I'm so sorry.
That's pretty. That's pretty
Literally,
good.
it's such light pink. It's
You like that?
Yeah,
It's pretty
first
true.
of all, like my eyebrows are that dark. You could have
Yeah.
done my hair and my
Phoebe,
eyebrows the
this
same
is
colour.
not a pencil to sketch
Yeah.
a drawing of you with. But yeah, I think
just to make sure the
Yeah.
camera
What do you
knows
think?
what we had to use.
yeah, these are awful. But hey ho,
But
Okay, I'm so
they
scared.
might take my degree back.
Ig's done this before.
Let's see what you came up with. That's not that bad. I mean, I don't know what mastering. Why did
I
you
got your
have to
curly
do-
hair. Got your curly hair. Got your legs in.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I feel like no.
You've got no, you've got no eyebrows in that particular one.
One shoe that matches my eyebrows, and the rest of it.
I didn't get round to the other shoe. Can't quite see it. The table's in the way.
I think we
So hey, this is
have
like the
an
most hardest
obvious
thing I've ever
winner.
done.
Oh, you've beaten me.
Iqbal,
Yo, really?
this is
Sick. No way.
for you. You are the first winner of
Oh,
the
great.
Saheli Events hamper.
Thank you.
You're the first loser.
Congratulations. There's always gonna
Maybe
be a
next
case.
time.
Well done.
Next time.
Well done, no, you guys. I mean, it was a hard game. I think you guys did a really great job. I give you so much credit for using pink. You could have stuck to it.
I know, right?
Might have helped.
Hey,
Remember for next time. Okay, so we're going to move on to the third part of the show, which is the rapid fire round. You're going to have 10 to 15 seconds to answer the series of questions that I have lined up for you.
Okay.
You can answer with one word, one sentence, whatever comes to your mind. I know you're unfiltered. Stay that way.
Oh, no,
Stay that way. We want to hear everything on your mind.
Hey, that's between us.
Okay, so since Ick did win, we'll start with you.
Iqbal,
Iqbal.
you're first. Iq.
You don't know what happened last night. Okay, I'm going to side note story because I don't think anyone understands. Ick, obviously his name's Iqbal, right? So I sent him this wonderful Christmas hamper once.
No one calls me Iqbal, by the way.
No one
Just-
calls him Iqbal. And
now the whole
I
world
didn't
will think.
realise he was Sikh. So I sent him this halal hamper and he was so shocked when he got it because he was like, Saheli, why have you sent me? Yeah.
Especially when in the
Iqbal
office,
would throw
everyone was
you off
screaming.
though, wouldn't it?
Everyone in the office was screaming. They were like, "Where's the alcohol?"
It's okay. I learned my lesson. Okay, Ick, you ready?
No.
Worst
So-
thing
so
about
how many seconds to it?
10 to 15 seconds.
10 to
Come on.
15 seconds.
Are we
Okay.
together or are we against each other again?
No, you're gonna have
Separate.
individual questions.
Okay. Who
Good
wants me
luck,
to go
Ick.
first?
Good luck, Iq.
No, you won. Okay, worst thing about wedding photography.
Worst thing would be waking up at 4 a.m.
Do your selfie pose.
I don't have any. We use professional cameras.
Well, you can try. Do you love or hate Instagram filters?
I hate them.
What about the industry do you love?
We love meeting people, new couples, new families.
You have a bride, she's got ready, but you don't think she looks very good. How do you tell her?
I think it's a case of they don't look very good. I think there's a case of, it's happened on many occasions, you can always tweak a few things.
Okay.
Whether the chutney isn't quite right or she needs a bit more blusher, you can always speak to the makeup artist on the side and tell her.
So you wouldn't tell the
Adjust.
bride? You just
No, not straight away. No. I
Okay.
think that would be wrong to start
Yeah.
again 3 hours
Okay,
back.
if you had to tell the bride, act it out. I'm the ugly
If you had to
bride.
tell the bride?
Not the ugly bride. The bride that doesn't look completely ready.
Yeah, I would say, I told you not to book her. No, I wouldn't really.
Okay.
No, I guess you wouldn't. No, you can't get those 3 hours back.
Okay.
And there's no way a bride can start again, so you wouldn't.
Okay. On a bride, bad hair or bad makeup? Or which would you prefer?
I here we can fix. Makeup is very difficult.
Okay. If you were a girl, what would your name be?
Oh, I don't know. I quite like Priya.
Okay.
Priya's always tend to be quite pretty, don't they?
You just won the lottery. What do you do with the money?
Oh, I would give it half to the family, possibly.
That's so cute.
And I'd probably give the other half to the wife.
So you would just keep none.
And go
I
back
don't
to
really need it,
taking
do I?
pictures.
The family's got all the money.
And make the face of the emoji that describes you best. Okay.
Either that or that one.
Amazing. Boss, you ready?
Let's do it.
What is your favourite photo prop?
The wheat, you know, the hat that's got like a bit of straw on it, so you can twit it. Yeah, that's my favourite one.
Okay. If you could take a selfie with any famous person in history, who would it be?
Michael Jackson?
Snog, marry, avoid, Rita, Raja or Ruby?
Snog Rita.
These are
Marry
his photo
Raja.
props, by the way.
Marry Raja, for sure.
You'd
And
marry the only
avoid
guy?
Ruby. Yeah, because he's got a strong presence. He look after me, you know.
Okay.
Without going into too much detail.
One thing you can't live without.
Roger?
Marry Raja. Yeah, Raja. You think you know Raja too? What's your worst habit?
Fidgeting when I'm in an interview.
You've done
Do
really
your
well.
selfie pose. Is that it?
No. There's a camera.
Okay. If you had a normal job outside the industry, 9 to 5, what would it be?
A chef.
You cook.
No,
Okay.
but I like the idea.
So just fine. And make the face of the emoji that describes you best.
And that one with the cool glasses on.
You don't have to do it that way.
Yeah, there we go.
Lovely.
Never seen that one.
Amazing. Okay, so well done, guys. You don't obviously win anything in this case, but you passed the rapid fire round fabulously. We're now going to move on to the final part of the show, which is your 3 top tips for potential bride and grooms getting married out there. And then you both get to ask me a question. Let's start with your 3 tips.
3 tips for brides and
And grooms.
grooms. I guess the first main tip would be go through recommendation. Is a key one. Speak to your caterers, speak to your planners, speak to as many people as you can, make a list. I'm sure we'll be at the top of that list, hopefully, at some point. That's the
If
first
you
one.
just say with yourself.
If you're not, then speak to more people. Secondly, I would say, obviously go and physically see the company. Go through their samples. Don't go on promises. We can do this or we've done this. Unless you see it and you're happy with it, don't agree to it.
Okay.
Second tip. Third tip would be see at least 3 companies. One could be expensive, middle, low. It's good to get a range.
Yeah.
At least you know the difference. Sometimes it's difficult to compare the top end with the low end.
Of course.
But if your budget doesn't stretch that far, just see 3 middle range
Yeah.
companies.
Amazing. Thank you. And Moss, your 3 tips.
3 tips for me. So firstly, I'd probably say, quite importantly, not just because we're on your show, but find yourself an event planner.
Thank
It
you.
really takes the stresses away
on the day and leading up to the event. The planner will be able to put you in the right direction when it comes to suppliers. And I kind of learnt the hard way. I didn't actually have a planner on my wedding, and I was trying to coordinate most of the day.
I think you just don't realise how difficult it is to just take a back seat on the day, especially.
It's so true. So yeah, number one, definitely have yourself a planner. Number two, enjoy the day. Like, you spend so much time planning this big day or this big occasion. Sometimes months and maybe even years go into planning. And it all goes by so quickly. So really take your time to enjoy the day, sit back, relax, enjoy the time with your friends and your family, and soak it all in. Because hopefully it's only going to be happening once.
Hopefully.
And third tip for the brides and grooms is to share the workload. A lot of the ladies in my experience, they're kind of very hands-on
say that really nicely.
Very hands-on with the planning, and the guys kind of take a back seat, but there's so much to plan when it comes to a wedding, or any event for that matter. So share the workload between you, and use your friends and family as people there to support you in the background. It'll make your planning process a lot smoother and a lot stress-free.
Amazing. And what would you both like to ask me?
Go on, mate. He's been thinking about it for the last 10 minutes.
What would I ask you to say?
Oh my god, he's thinking too hard. It's
What made you start Saheli events?
Mummy, daddy.
So I obviously, you know, I was working at Meridian. Actually, one of the reasons I even wanted both of these two on the show together was because at Meridian Ground, you both were my first suppliers that I worked with, and I really thought that would be a nice way to kind of come full circle. But obviously at Meridian, I was, you know, helping a lot of bride and grooms plan their day, running it on the day. You kind of go through the whole process with them. And that venue, you know, they do a lot of that coordination for you. So I learned a lot while I was there, that once I did get to that point, that I was like, you know what, I definitely, you know, can do this in other places and, you know, plan some other lavish affairs. I wasn't the kind of person who could maybe just join another company. I think I just was a bit ambitious and felt like, you know what, Saheli, you can do this. So I just literally took the plunge and went for it. So yeah, that's kind of how I decided to just start my own business.
Well, we've known each other for what, 3-4 years now?
Yeah.
And you've kind of grown massively. You know, I remember the days of Meridian. We were there.
I was just like standing there behind a pin.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, we were there every month, and you girls used to run around doing everything. So I think, having done all of that, and you've done quite a few in London since, where would you like to do a wedding if you had your choice?
So
no
for
budget.
my wedding,
No
or
budget.
for anyone else?
Your wedding, no budget. How would you plan it?
Okay, so it would definitely not be in the UK.
Sweet destination
I'm
wedding coming up.
Not engaged, so I definitely would do it abroad. I would do it abroad, and my family, my mum's side, all live in Malaysia, so definitely Southeast Asia or Asia of some sort. And to be honest, for me, after especially planning all these beautiful affairs, I think more than anything that means most to me is having a really fun wedding. Like, I want it to be all about the party, all about just having fun with my family and friends, and just making sure that I'm really just having fun too. So definitely Asia. Book your tickets. So thank you both for being here today. I hope you've enjoyed being on the show. I'm so excited for all of you to see what we have planned for you for the next year. We have a different episode every single month with 2 guests. So make sure you stay tuned and keep up to date with us on Saheli events. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and turn on your notifications. See you next month.